Welcome back to another classic Game Room interview. Today I'm talking with Ashish Mistry, the president and CEO of KontrolFreek, and you've probably seen me review a number of KontrolFreek products. They are thumbstick enhancement sticks or pads that increase the length of the analog stick, increasing accuracy. And Ashish, you have some fantastic engineering and physics descriptions of how this actually works. How do KontrolFreek products increase my accuracy and skill in aiming during first-person shooters?
So it's a great question. So the technical description that you're looking for really is the lever principle. And so by increasing the length of your analog joystick, even to slightly as a 1/4 inch that we do, you're able to add that much more length to the lever, which is basically the analog stick, giving you an increased range of motion. So the geometry of the device basically gives you an additional 40% range, kind of side to side and circular around the actual pivot point of the existing analog joystick.
Okay.
So that's the technical definition of it.
Is there a practical definition as well?
The practical definition is that we don't make gamers better. Gamers make themselves better. We just, much like a batting glove helps baseball players kind of tune their play. That's all KontrolFreek is here to do. It's make good players better by giving them the tools they need.
And it's not an expensive, complicated tool either. And you have a lot of fans. We met last year at E3 2011 out in Los Angeles, and we talked about your products quite a bit. And you had a huge display. You have an enormous Facebook following. How many different products have you guys released by now, and approximately how many KontrolFreek fans are there out there?
So we've got close to 200,000 KontrolFreek fans. So that doesn't include all those customers that buy from us at Amazon or through the Microsoft stores. That's literally human beings to whom we shipped products last year from our warehouse alone. We've also got, I think, like 77 or 76,000 fans on Facebook. So that's a huge place for our community to aggregate, as well as YouTube, which if you do a search for KontrolFreek on YouTube, you'll see like 20,000 videos pop up. Mm-hmm. So I wish I could say that we did a bunch of the work, but it's really our community and our fan base that's done that. In addition, we've got 15,000-ish followers on Twitter as well. So there's a pretty big audience of people that like the products.
You do, and I love your Twitter icon. It's very eye-catching, by the way.
Thanks. I wish I could take credit for that.
That's hard to miss.
For being the model. So.
Well, what kind of new products can fans or potential fans expect from KontrolFreek over the next year or two?
Yeah. So what I didn't answer in the last question was how many products we had. And we had at the end of last year about 21 different KontrolFreek products, ranging from the Speed Freek, which is the U-shaped controller, the FPS Freek, which is the analog joystick extender, to the Arcade Freek, which you obviously saw last year at E3 and reviewed. And then we've got a variety of the other FPS Freek derivatives that some are being specialized for games, like the Sniper edition here, which is very kind of, it's a concave grip with the laser etching inbuilt in there, and then some of the other special editions. Our newest product that was just released really at the end of last year, but we did it, we'll be doing a relaunch of it in the next couple of months, was the FPS Freek CQC. Okay. So whereas the traditional FPS Freek is about 1/4 of an inch, we cut the fat out of the middle of the traditional FPS Freek and built a lower rise CQC product. So designed for what we call close quarters combat, for slashing and stabbing versus sniping. So I wish I came up with all those names, but it's a group of people here that does all the heavy lifting in terms of coming up with creative names like that.
I can only imagine the group all sitting around. And you're CEO, you look very professional.
Yeah.
Just button up, perhaps a suit jacket and a tie, testing slashing, stabbing, and melee with the various Control Freek products versus, say, one that would be more for a third-person shooter versus one with the convex or concave and all the different styling. You have a lot. I like the way you guys come up with all the names. The epic, the legendary,
Yeah,
the elite.
And to your point, right? I mean, we're not delusional in the fact that our products are very similar. They are very similar, and the fact is that it's our audience that wants them to be somewhat similar because they like the way they are. They're basically saying, don't screw up a good thing.
Well, absolutely. You don't want to reinvent the wheel if it's already working.
Right, and so instead of reinventing the wheel, what we've done is fine-tune the wheel for whomever it might be. So we've actually split the product into certain verticals. So based on the gaming titles that our audience really enjoys, whether it's the Call of Duty series or the Halo series or any of the other game titles that have good pickup or that the audience actually gives us feedback on. We'll try to do as much as we can to create short runs of the product and provide more of a custom feel. So it's more about customization and kind of personalization than it is about each product being amazingly different because of surface area it takes up, right? I mean, but we do play with other things, right? So I mean, it's really important to know that the materials on the products change. So like this is a prototype inside my office, but this is actually a different material. Like it's extremely tacky. It's almost kind of chewing gum rubbery like, but without the stickiness. And so we can do interesting things like that with materials as well. So it's a fascinating business, especially from that perspective that we don't have a lot of real estate to take up, but we're trying to we're trying to do a lot with what we have.
One of the things you mentioned at E3 is that you take a lot of your design cues or design ideas from your fan base and that massive community that you've worked hard to build.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so we hear things like, we like the FPS Freek, but I wish there was one that was shorter because my hands are smaller, or because I'm a female gamer, or because guess what, I don't like to run and gun. I'd much more rather slash and burn. So I just feel weird saying that. But
oh, slashing! So you could have one that specializes in burning.
Yeah, the burning might not. It's probably something that's on the drawing board, maybe. But
we should have one that heats up whenever you burn someone.
Well, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting.
That would probably make it a little more complicated. You'd have to have wiring going through the controller and perhaps safety issues with it lighting on fire. But it would be fun.
You could just take the natural friction from your thumb and almost like materials are a pretty interesting thing these days. You can do a lot with them.
Now, where are your products manufactured, by the way? How do you guys? You're based out of Georgia?
We're in Atlanta, yeah.
Okay.
So we're based in Atlanta, and all of our products are made in the United States. So we make our stuff here, and we ship it globally. So we ship to almost 60 countries a day from our factory, and literally we get letters and emails and Facebook posts and all sorts of interesting things from all over the world. So it's pretty fun being a small global company from Atlanta and having everything manufactured in the States. It's pretty neat.